It's Happy Hour again from Central City in New Orleans. Hello, I'm Grant Morris. Happy Hour is part of the family of shows on the podcast network. It's neworleans.com, brought to us today by our friends at Petite Pet Care. If you're going out of town or you have a school or work schedule that keeps you away from home, the folks at Petite Pet Care understand that some pets are fine going to a kennel or doggy daycare centre if they're a dog, but others prefer the comfort of their own home, especially iguanas. Petite Pet Care are insured, bonded, Red Cross Pet CPR and First Aid certified, but most importantly, they love animals. For loving care when you're not there, Petite Pet Care is at petitepetcare.com and can be in your house as well. When you walk into a bar in New Orleans and you pull up a bar stool, you never know who's going to be sitting on either side of you. What you do know is no matter what they look like, what they're wearing, whether they just got out of a limo or just got out of jail, they're going to be happy to talk to you. Because that's New Orleans, and this is Happy Hour, a cocktail-fueled 60 minutes of random conversation with folks who have nothing in common, other than we're all New Orleanians in a bar. In this case, we're at Casa Borrega on Aretha Castle Haley Boulevard in Central City, New Orleans. Casa Borrega is a bar, a nightclub, a music venue, and an awesome restaurant where you can have some Mexican food. Find them on Twitter and Facebook, or just come down here for yourself and have a drink or a meal, or hang out with us for the next 60 minutes while I introduce you to my very special guests sitting around the table here in this order, starting with you, Bridget Kelly. Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you.
All right, Bridget Kelly is a 7th generation New Orleanian. Holy crap.
I had to figure that out.
Have you had any kids?
Yes, so he's 8.
So you've had the 8th generation New Orleanian already. Wow. And how old is he?
2.5.
So he's not in the business of having the 9th generation quite yet. No,
in this city?
What an well, you never know.
They start early here.
They do, Andy. So, Bridget, you're a 7th generation New Orleanian and the co-founder of Greener Bywater, which is a marijuana growing organization. Is that correct?
No, that legislation did not pass.
Oh, we didn't get it's not. It's an organization dedicated to preserving her neighborhood's last remaining open green spaces. Kelly knows something about public policy making. She spent 15 years working in community health, chronic disease epidemiology, I don't know what that is, environmental and chronic.
The chronic.
Good point, Andrew.
Chronic disease.
Chronic disease.
I got a bit of that myself.
Environmental and land use policies, renewable energy, social justice, and food security. Well, you've been pretty busy.
Very.
Wonder what food security is. Bridget has used her master's degree in public health from Tulane to launch the Step Together New Orleans initiative at the Louisiana Public Health Institute, and in her work for Market Umbrella, the umbrella company of the New Orleans Farmers Markets. Wow, we've got a lot to talk about today.
Let's get going.
Are we going to get through any of that, do you think, or we're just going to end up talking about how your son's 2?
2.5.
What's his name? 2.5 already. That was quick. 6 months went by, just like dog years here. How?
Petite Pet Care.
No, I was going to say, what's his name?
August Stewart Hay.
August Stewart Hay.
August Stewart.
Was he born in August?
August 4th.
He was. What would have happened if he was born in June? That would have been awkward.
Yeah. I think we were going with August.
June Stewart.
So.
August. Well, I guess you knew he was going to be born in August, right? Given that, it takes... Does it take 9 or 10 months? Andy, you're a doctor.
Yeah,
help me out here, Andy.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm wondering whether you strategically planned this so that he would be August.
No.
No.
Augustus. That was the voice of Andrew King. And Andy knows something about this. He's the Robert D. Ambrosia Professor and Chairman of the Department of Orthopedic Surgery at Louisiana State University in New Orleans. Wow. This is a pretty high-powered sort of a day we've got going on here, Andrew.
Sounds smart.
I know. And the good deal about Andrew is that he's originally from New Zealand. Congratulations.
That's right.
I've heard about you. I'm from New Zealand too. I've been here about 20-something years, 24 years. For most of those years, so many people have said to me, hey, you know this other guy from New Zealand who lives here? I'm like, no. Who is he? He's a doctor.
It's you.
Yeah, he's a doctor. I'm so glad to have met you after all these years.
Well, thank you.
You seem just as nice. Everyone says he's a great guy.
Yeah, usually they say he's the guy that talks funny. That's what they're
Really?
always saying. Yeah.
Are you really a great guy? Because that's what everyone tells me.
No, not really.
It's not true?
That's a facade.
I suppose if you're an orthopedic surgeon, people have to like you, otherwise you could really fuck them up.
You're absolutely right. And I see just behind you,
Yeah.
there's a picture of, is that Frida Kahlo?
I believe it is for you.
Yeah, and she got totally screwed up with a bad spine operation.
Did she?
That's why there's a big tear running down her eye right now.
Chronic pain is something that you know something about, Bridget, as well, right? Or is it chronic something else?
Something else.
Chronic disease. Chronic pain is pretty bad.
Just bad.
That's what you're involved in, curing,
Yeah, but hopefully we manage to get them over that hurdle most of the time.
without having to saw their backs up
Yeah,
with
yeah.
tools. You have
yeah.
like tools, right?
We have tools.
Like a hacksaw and stuff.
Yeah, we're known as the blue-collar people of medicine. You know,
You have got a
If
blue
you-
shirt on.
Yeah, I know, but if you see our tools, you know, they're pretty macroscopic, shall we say, rather than
Jeez.
microscopic.
Yikes.
It's like a horror movie.
Yep.
So Andrew was from New Zealand, where he completed a fellowship in spine surgery. Oh, God. At LSU and never left. His clinical interest is scoliosis, and he heads the spine unit at New Orleans Children's Hospital. What could be worse than hacking up adults? It was hacking up children.
Well,
I guess
making children better is probably...
Well, I guess that's a
yeah,
nicer way of
a
saying
little
it.
nicer way of doing it, yeah.
Yeah. But you have to hack them up first.
You have to hack them up first, but we do it very delicately, I can assure you. Particularly if there's any of my patients out there, prospective patients out there listening.
Yeah, I didn't mean to say the word hack them up. How do you say that nicely, that hack up a child?
No, well, we say we instrument infuse.
Instrument and fuse.
Yes.
That could be a good name for yours new album.
That's a great
Actually, by
band
the way.
name, actually.
It is, it is a great band name. Talking of a band, we have a band sitting in front of us. The band is called Cardinal Sons, and they are brothers, John, Joe, and Dave Shirley. I have to check my name. It's hard. I've never had three brothers in a band on the show at the same time, and 2 out of 3 of them wear glasses.
Truth.
How come you're not wearing glasses,
Well,
Joe?
I've
Your
got
contacts?
my contacts on. Yeah, yeah.
So
I
what's
play it
up with
off.
your parents? Do they both have bad vision?
Yes, actually.
They do.
Our dad has chronic bad vision.
Chronic.
Yeah.
We got chronic
Nice
in
word.
3 times
Yeah.
in the first
Thank
minute.
you.
You think they wouldn't be allowed to have kids? It's just right.
I know, right?
It's just irresponsible.
There's too much wrong with them, and
Really?
yet here we are.
What else have they got wrong? Spina bifida.
Funny accents.
They're from you.
That's
From,
actually not a fault of theirs.
you guys don't have an accent at all, right?
No, we're
It'll
from
come out.
Mississippi. Yeah,
I know.
Yeah, it comes out from time to time, especially when we go back home. We're originally from Mississippi. I've lived here for 11-ish years.
All right.
So
That's a long
I
time.
consider New Orleans home, but
Where in
still got
Mississippi?
Jackson.
See, Jack, when you say someone's from Jackson, Mississippi, it's not like they're saying they're from Mississippi, is it?
Oh, it's okay, Jackson.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's cool.
good
It's
point,
okay.
good point. All right.
Yeah. So you
City
get a pass.
boys.
You get a pass on that. So John, Joe, and Dave Shirley are members of the band Cardinal Sons. There's no one else in the band. It's just the 3 of you, right?
Correct.
They're a New Orleans alternative indie rock band, originally, as you just heard, from Jackson, Mississippi, who are carving out a singular career for themselves. Although Cardinal Sons have only been around a couple of years, I don't know where these things come from, but it's good. It's been mostly a string of enviable highlights, including playing Jazz Fest 2014, making an EP called Cardinal Sons Make an EP. Okay, that's funny right there.
Right.
Who's the genius who came up with that?
Dave, who is actually
Dave's
not,
the drummer.
not on the mic.
Dave was not given a microphone.
No, Dave's not allowed to speak. And that was your idea, Dave.
I guess so. John said it in passing in the conversation. I was like,
You see,
that was it.
see, that's the key. The genius is the person who hears it, not the person who says it, right?
Correct.
So it's the drummer is the genius in your band. I don't know what that
No,
says.
we always knew that.
You, really?
No questioning.
Who's the oldest brother?
I am.
We do, well, but we have an
Hey.
older brother.
Yeah.
We've
Oh,
got,
there's a
4 of
fourth.
us.
There's a
Yeah.
fourth son,
Correct.
and he's even older.
He's even older.
And
He's
what's his deal?
31, 32. He's an opera singer, and he lives up in Chicago.
I thought maybe he had
Wow.
Down syndrome or something.
Yeah.
And he was in the basement.
We used to, like, our parents were kind of worried about him because he was like this really artsy, brilliant kid. But like as an 8-year-old, like it's kind of weird to see a kid come up like that because they were actually worried that he was like mentally retarded.
This is Joe, the keyboard
Horrible
player. So my
Really
gut
bad.
feeling was right that your parents thought he had Down syndrome.
Well, they had that fear. I mean, he
Why?
would always. You can't
'Cause he
see
was
this on the mic, but he would always run around and shake his hands like in front of his chest like this as he's running, and he'd run in circles just thinking, and his mind's
Wow.
like going. But they were
Kinda
like,
Autism
we might need
sort
to
of
bring
stuff.
this.
I was
bring this
thinking
kid."
autism as well, Andrew.
Well,
This is the voice of
He
Andrew
turned out to be
Duhon, by the
okay.
way.
Yeah.
You guys know Andrew Duhon,
We
right?
know
Andrew?
Andrew.
Because Joe's in Andrew's band.
Yeah, we
so-
know these guys. Yeah.
So that would let me continue here. Anyway, Cardinal Sons Make an EP was the name of the EP. The band also appeared in New York as winners of the NPR New Song Mountain Stage Competition. My goodness,
Nice.
that's damn impressive, right there.
Thank you.
So
It
this is
sounds
a string
really
of
awesome.
interview highlight. It is
NPR.
really awesome. Not only that, but they recorded with Bob Dylan's guitar player Charlie Sexton, who's the best-looking guy in rock and roll.
Oh, he's
pretty
good
much,
looking.
right?
Totally.
He's good looking.
Yeah, that must have been intimidating.
It was.
And he produced a record for you.
He did. Yeah.
Holy shit. So it says here, and you also performed at the Sundance Film Festival. What else could you have fitted in for the last couple of years? If you're looking for the local indie band most likely to release a full-length album that will bust them out of New Orleans onto the national stage in the next 12 months, Cardinal Sons would be a pretty good bet.
Wow.
What a
nice. Nice. Who wrote that?
I'm going to hire that guy who wrote
Me
that
too,
for you.
yeah.
That was
I'm going to
great.
give you his name after the show.
Sweet.
We'll see if we can get him on the payroll.
Your
His name
manager.
was David. He's our drummer.
Good job, Dave. And Andrew Duhon is our happy hour troubadour who wanders around the world and the country and occasionally wanders back. He's also the winner of the 2014 Big Easy Award for Best Country Folk Artist.
That's right.
Yeah.
And I got a haircut today, too.
Who did it? We
Thanks
give
a
him a
lot.
free plug. It looks like.
His name's Micah Nickens. He's got a place in the Bywater called Godey Brothers, and he's excellent at lowering your ears. So
There you go. Nice
if you're
job.
interested.
Hey, Chris, can you turn me up a little bit there? Just a tiny bit, thanks. So here we go. That was happy hour.
Yeah, that's
So-
it.
So, Andy, what made you move from New Zealand? Was it just scoliosis?
Probably the same thing that made you move, and that is that when you
I'd
grow
like
up
to
in
know
New
what-
Zealand, you're living in this tiny little country at the bottom of the world, and you're wondering what's going on out there. So just about everyone in New Zealand does what they call OE, their overseas experience. So they head on out, most of Britain in the old days, but now they're going
Right.
all over the place. Same thing with you?
Yeah, I went to LA and then I was in LA and then I came here to go to
Yeah.
Jazz Fest and then I discovered New Orleans and never left pretty much the same thing. But I didn't get into med school. That was where I fucked up. If I could have had a degree and actually done something. So you can make some money in New Orleans if you have an actual trade here.
Yeah.
I got a question for you, New Zealand guys. I met some Kiwis across the pond, and I feel like that accent doesn't allow you to be an asshole. Are there any asshole Kiwis, or is everybody just kind of
hell
pleasant?
Yeah, there's breeds of them.
Really?
But let me tell you about the accent. When I was growing up in New Zealand, the American ships used to come in, and New Zealand girls would go nuts for American
Really?
accents. Oh,
Nice.
you know, the local radio station would have Data Sailor, and all our girlfriends, who we thought were sort of pretty,
Oh, no.
they would all go off with these sailors. And when I came over here, I found to my delight that American girls rather like our accent. They say,
yeah.
"Oh, keep talking. We like the way you talk." So I'm getting a little back on you guys.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fair. I'll make it over that way one of these days.
Yeah,
is
you'll
that
do
still-
well. I can assure you.
Perfect.
Is that still the case over there, Andy? You just came back, right?
Yep, I came back, but they tell me I don't speak like a New Zealander
No,
anymore.
now they say where
I've
you're
sold
from.
out.
Yeah, where are you from? I'm sure.
Yeah.
But do you think New Zealand girls still like the American accent?
Oh, absolutely.
Still the same.
If you listen to the radio stations, they often have an American DJ because they just like the
Wow.
way they talk.
What do you think, Shirley boys? Are going to head over there for a little tour? Let's do this.
Done. Yeah, I'm down. We actually got written up. This is very random, but we got written up in this Australian. Not the same
That's
thing.
not New Zealand,
Not
dude.
the same thing. But still, same area, sort of. I want to go to both countries, honestly, as soon as possible.
Yeah. We got written up by whom in Australia?
The AU Review.
Andrew
yeah.
did as well.
Yeah. So we were like in the same write-up, like, discoveries. Apparently, this writer from the AU Review was at Jazz Fest, and it was.
So he has to justify the free trip somehow. So
yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Yeah.
he said he enjoyed himself.
Put
Yeah.
some schlock together and put it
Right.
on
Bullshit
a
about you
website.
guys, yeah. What did he say? Anything like it's been a string of enviable hits for the
Nothing as good as
highlights?
that.
Yeah.
No, nothing near as good as that. It was basically like, this Australian editor was in town for Jazz Fest and discovered us and Andrew. And
I think the title was something like 5 musical discoveries or something like
Right,
that, right?
right.
What were the other ones?
So you were one.
Uh-huh.
Andrew was one. I believe Teresa Anderson
Right.
was one,
Yeah,
and
I remember
she is a. She's
Swedish.
Swedish, I
I
think.
was about to say Swiss.
That's right.
She's Swedish, and then the others, I think, were the Lost Bayou Ramblers,
Right.
and then the Pine
Pine Leaf
Boys.
Boys.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
They're good too.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it was really funny. Andrew's write-up was kind of funny. I play in Andrew's band. What was great about it, he got a great, the fluff on the top sounded great, and then it gets down to like, sort of a review of the show and everything, and it was going through like the band members, but the writer obviously didn't know any of the other band members.
idea, yeah.
So it was like, and then he had his friend, some singer, some female vocalist come up and sing, and we didn't get her name. And then, but then
They
it
actually
was like,
say that in the other
Yeah.
we didn't know who it was.
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
but I didn't get her name.
Didn't
and then it
bother
was
doing any
like,
research.
and then he had a great bass player and drummer and some keyboard player playing with
I
him
think
too.
I think verbatim, eventually it said something like "some guy on bass." I think was on. there.
Well, the standard
it's
of
great.
literacy is pretty low in Australia,
Right.
Isn't
where they-
it?
it's where you
Right,
send the
Andy?
crooks.
Yeah, New Zealand much better.
Yeah, they would
The
never
standard
get away
of
with
just
that in
about
New Zealand.
anything is lower in
Yes,
Australia.
Australia is really a
Got to
shithole.
prepare for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's horrible. You ever go to Australia, Andy, actually?
Yeah, I've been there, but I never wanted to stay too long.
No.
I always felt a little uneasy.
That's great. Is there really a rivalry that exists?
No,
Of
not
sorts?
really,
Not really,
because there's really no comparison.
True.
Ah,
Oh.
nice.
Boom.
Nice.
I'll tell you
work.
what it's really like. It's like Canada and the United States. If you're in the United States, you don't even know Canada exists, and
Yeah.
no one cares. If you're
No.
in Canada, everyone's got a chip on their shoulder about the United States, about
Right.
everything.
Yeah.
It's the same in Australia and New Zealand.
Yeah.
Nobody in Australia would give a fuck about New Zealand at all, or even think about it.
Yeah.
But everybody in New Zealand is always comparing themselves to Australia. Well, the Australians this and Australians that. They don't care about us at all, right, Andy?
No, not really.
They're not
No.
interested, right?
No.
But it's a pity because they could learn a few things if they
Yeah.
did. So you guys, maybe we should just have you play a song so that everyone knows
You
what we're
ready?
talking
Please.
about. Well, if you're going to be superstars,
Yeah.
then we'd like to get in on it first. How long before you're going to be superstars? What's the plan? Was you going to release this album this year?
What time is it?
We are. Yeah, right.
Hey, look what I've seen. Look what I see in your pocket. You have an e-cigarette.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
what's in it? Any weed?
No chronic today.
No chronic. What's in it?
It's just juice. It's
What
just
flavor?
nicotine.
Yeah, what
juice.
flavor is it?
It's blueberry streusel.
Nice.
Oh God, it's so sad. What's happened to smoking used to be a manly
telling you.
art.
No, no.
Now it's turned into this like ridiculous.
This is not cool at all. I admit.
It's so not cool, but
no.
how they're trying to make it cool.
Nah, I mean, I don't even know if they're trying to make it cool. It's just so
They're
widespread
trying to make you
now.
buy it.
Yeah, it works.
That's a
tell
big
you that.
e-cigarette too. That's no joke.
I know.
you know?
Quite
I know.
quite a big one.
But you can get pot though. You can get like
You can,
hash oil or something and stick in it. Do you have any?
I don't. Not on me.
Have you had any though?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what's it like?
It's pretty intense.
It's just like vaporizing or whatever that you've been
Right.
because you have a vaporizer.
Yeah.
Now you can actually carry it around.
Exactly. So it's intense.
You should have brought us some because is it legal to walk around smoking that? It's not, right?
No, it's not. It's not legal. It's pretty easy to hide though.
Does it smell like weed when you smoke? No, it doesn't.
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah, it does. Because you can't. really
Andy's
flavor that.
nodding. You know about this, Andy? No. I'm a doctor, Jim.
I'm glad, by the way, to know your policy right off the bat about saying cuss words.
Oh, yeah.
And
No,
talking. Okay.
Oh no,
Okay.
it's okay. We don't have any FCC
Yeah. Okay.
on the internet.
Cool.
Not yet. Not until the government takes over everything. Right, Bridget?
No.
That can't be far off, right? That can't be too far away. Hey, so what are you going to play, you guys, in the Cardinal Sons?
We were gonna play a couple if we got time.
Yeah, we can squeeze a couple. And we do one now, one a little bit later.
Cool. We might play one now. October Rolls.
Okay.
This was kind of we came out with the EP last year, and this I guess was our first single. It's called October Rolls.
Is this the song that won the NPR?
We did
Yeah.
play
You-
it. Well, yeah, we had to play it as part of the set. You play like 3 or 4 songs in different rounds, and this was one of them.
What did you win for that? You won this session with Charlie Sexton.
We did, yeah. They paid for that recording, and they you know, we're getting the masters this week. Actually, they should have been in today, so we need to give them.
Where are they?
Holler at them.
So who's the record company, or what is the deal with that? Well,
If-
just you own them.
we're still somewhat independent, although this record was released by the company and by the contest that finances that contest. They basically pick a winner every year, and it's called New Song Music, and then they pay for your next recording in the following spring.
Is
So-
it? Sorry,
Andrew, go.
is it one of those contests where you win and they say congratulations? Here's a contract that you
Yes.
need this.
Kind of.
How'd it go?
Yeah.
How's it
no.
going?
I mean, the funny thing is, from a lot of different people that we showed the deal to, because essentially what we wanted was a record deal,
Mm-hmm.
but different in the way that you would hope to get a record deal. Either way, they're releasing it, they're paying for it. We have to recoup similar to any kind of record deal, but we own the masters. So I think
That's wrong. We don't own the master. We own a portion of the masters.
Okay,
We own 100%
yeah.
of the publishing,
Yeah,
which is
yeah.
different than some record deals, and it's actually like a more favorable record deal to the artist than most.
Yeah.
So it worked out okay. You know.
So you own the publishing, which means you own the songs, and they own the masters, which means they own the recording.
The actual like.
So they can't do
physical.
anything with that unless you let them, because
But
you own
they-
the copyright and the publishing.
Yeah, but I can also almost guarantee or let me know there's probably something in the contract that doesn't allow you to re-record the song, which means you
True.
can't do anything without
Wow.
them with that song, but they can't do
Yeah.
anything without you. So it's kind of a
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
Did Andrew have that? Do I understand that correctly? You can't re-record your own song?
correct.
True. Yeah.
But because
Okay,
they own
that's pretty
they own
bad.
the master on that song. You know,
Yeah.
I
So
mean,
you can't re-record that song.
Well, it
ever.
also makes
if they
sense.
never released it.
Well, no, there's
really?
there's like a
Sure.
How does that make sense?
Oh yeah, well,
So it's
that
not
was
in
a funny
perpetuity,
thing.
right?
It's not in perpetuity.
Right.
It's only up to 5 years.
So that's kind of fair.
Yeah.
The person who's paying for it is protecting their interest to say, I'm going to pay for you to record the song, and I'm going to try to sell the CD, and maybe we'll make some money together. But if you go and record it with Joe Schmo over there and try to sell that one, well, what good am I, to
Okay,
spend
good
money to
point.
record your
Good
songs?
point. Okay,
Yeah,
all right.
It's one of those.
Yeah.
All right.
5 years sounds fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
And I'm wondering when that 5 years starts, or has it already started, or did it
yeah.
start at the beginning, of, like when we won the contest? Or there's many questions.
Maybe it
Yeah.
starts the day the record's released, or is it the day the
Probably.
It's like
Probably,
Jesus.
yeah.
It's like, when did time start?
Right.
Don't you always wonder that? When did we start counting at 0 again? And so that it's like
Oh, you-
1 AD, 2 AD. Did we start on the day Jesus was crucified?
what I'm saying.
Or the day he came
I think
back?
about that. I don't think
what's
about it all
the deal
time,
with
but I
that,
thought
Andrew?
about it drunk, I don't know, but why is if it's like in the year of our Lord, and then we celebrate the birth of Jesus on December 25th, but New Year's is January 1st.
Good point.
Right.
And
Right
there's
there.
like 5 days that just doesn't exist in reality.
So Jesus was born in -1.
Right.
Right.
Was
And
it?
then
Wait. No, wait. He was born
born zero.
-5 days before 0.
right. Okay.
5 days
but in
before
the
0.
year oh, okay, yeah. Okay. Right.
Well, that's
Well, we
right. Well, that is -1, technically. You're
Technically,
right.
negative
Before
1.
0.
Yeah.
Was
We're
the
not drunk
first
enough
year-
for this. It's all
Was the
ridiculous.
first year 0 AD? Before it was BC?
Sure.
Graham might know. Graham doesn't know.
Well, did they
She
know it
knows
was
pretty
going to
much
be AD when he was born?
No.
I don't
Well, that's
think
what I'm
so.
saying. Not when he
Yeah.
was born. It would have to be when he was crucified and came back, because nobody
Right.
knew he was a Messiah until he came back, allegedly, right?
There were hunches.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of that, another day question.
I know a guy named Peter who. Never mind.
Why is,
Yeah,
why is
speaking
it
of
3
that,
days
yes.
that he was dead? Because he died at they always say 3 p.m. on Friday, and then he
they?
raises like
3
every
p.m.?
Sunday morning. It's like, that's like 2.5 days.
Joe plays at church. It's true.
Do you?
Hey, let's talk
You're a
about
church-
that.
You play organ
I'm
in
a
church?
music director at a church, yeah.
Really?
I
Do they
am.
pay you?
What
Yes.
church?
That is why I'm there.
Whoa.
To get dark with it. But yeah, no, I'm at a church up in Kenner. And I pick the songs every week.
I've been
and
meaning to go check this out.
You
be
need
honest
to.
with you.
You
I
need
want to.
It'll be an
What
experience.
time do you have to get up on a
It's
Sunday
actually really
morning?
great. 10. It's a late service. It's like we start
Excellent.
at 11:30.
That's
It's at
fine.
11:30.
Yeah, it's great. It's great. Yeah.
What
make that.
what nationality? What religion is this?
It's like open-minded, like non-denominational sort of stuff. But it's Christian. Yeah,
Non-denominational.
yeah.
It's
Mhm.
Christian non-denominational, which is not a denomination.
Wait, what's the
actually.
name of the church, if you don't mind?
Yeah.
Metro Christian Fellowship,
Metro Christian.
which is actually like a larger church, and you can just like open up that under that name in any city sort
a
of
chain?
thing.
Oh, you like a franchise?
It's a chain.
Like
It's
Subway?
like Burger King.
Chain church.
Yeah.
And what's the franchise fee to open one of those, I wonder?
I wonder too.
Are there any
I haven't
rules
asked
you have to follow? Like, do you have to believe in Jesus, or could we have
Yeah,
some other God?
I think it's that. I think it's that thing. Well, I mean, it's a Christian church. you know.
Are you Christian yourself? Do you care?
We were
Would
we
you
were
do
all
any-
three raised Catholic. I think
Right.
we've we still have that in us, But like as far as like personally going to church every Sunday and that sort of thing, I think I don't know where everybody else.
Considering
stands,
this,
but like
Guys
this
don't talk
recording
about it.
may exist for a long time, our parents may or may not hear it.
Say
And,
it ain't so, Shirley boys.
Yeah. I go to church every Sunday.
Absolutely. Me
wow.
too.
Yes. And
do
do
too.
you,
Live.
Bridget, as well?
Absolutely.
Really? And do you go to confession, all of you?
I haven't been in a long time. But
Isn't this
I
kind of
need
like
to,
a
man.
Well, I was
group
gonna- that was
confession?
gonna ask you what-
Confession right now.
Yeah.
That was going to be my next question: is what have you confessed?
Bless me, Shirley, for I have sinned.
Yeah.
So you
Well, we do name ourselves the Cardinal Sons. I mean, it's a church joke,
Well, the
But I mean, well,
The
yeah,
Cardinals are Catholic, I
right.
suppose. Yeah.
But somewhat of a punny pun. Cardinal Sins.
This
But,
wasn't the breakaway priest from Kenner that about 10 years ago, I think. Did you remember that? He was very progressive and modern, and I
When,
think he got excommunicated.
Oh wow.
Really?
It wasn't. No, neither one of the pastors there came from the Catholic
Okay.
Church.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where did they come from? Do
They
they
came
own-
from
do they-
Laredo, Texas. Actually, one of them is that he's a really awesome Mexican guy, and he married a wife in Laredo, Texas, like 25 years ago. Started a family, started some churches there, and then came over here. I don't know what brought him here, but
It's like a sort of car dealership. It's like Tom
Right.
Benson, sort of religion. He came from Texas, I
Right.
think, and then he came here
Oh, yeah.
and
Right.
cleaned up.
How did you end up
I found a
As music
Craigslist
Craigslist.
ad. Yeah.
That's
Thank you.
It was
Brought
about
to you by Craigslist.
Yeah. Well,
Home
so
of
it was.
everything.
I was a junior in college. I went to Loyola. We all three went to college at Loyola, and I was broke. And I was like, man, I need to find a steady gig playing piano. And so I get on Craigslist searching for those things, and then this church popped up, you know. And so I started out as a piano player and just like kind of like laying it back, you know, not really taking too much of a part of it. And then I brought in David. He started playing. David plays too,
Yeah.
my little brother.
Okay.
Brought
You're
in some
a
other
drummer in a
musicians.
church.
Right. Yeah. And then after about 2 years, they were like, "Hey, Joe, can you sing?" You know, and I was like, "Yeah, I guess so."
Oh, can Joe sing?
Yeah. And then I started singing, and then they asked me to, you know, start picking the songs every week, and it kind of came
But
about that way.
so you sing as well?
I do, yeah.
Do you have a choir or just you're it?
So we have since in the last maybe like 6 months added some extra singers. So there's about an 8-person choir, 6 to 8, you know, depending on who wakes up. So
Does it get rocking? Do you really get
it is,
rocking in there?
yeah. It's one of the, you know,
I gotta check this
keyboard
out.
microphone churches, you know, and it's not like it's not playing the organ in front of the choir, but it's, you know,
So what songs are you picking?
Shall we sing some?
Yes.
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 Teach us a song.
Yeah, let's all
for
sing
Sunday.
it. What do you got?
Do you do Awesome God?
Yeah.
Ah.
Our God is an awesome God. He reigns from heaven above with wisdom, power, and love. Our God is an awesome God. Yeah.
Okay.
That's how it goes. Just to let you know, part of the choir was Andrew Duhon there.
Yeah,
I'm just trying to help out.
How
I
do
just
you,
got into it.
how do you know our God is an awesome God?
Man, I was the musical guy for our campus ministry in high school. My first song that I ever played in front of people was a spoof on Adam Sandler's Hanukkah song, and it was the Catholica song.
How does
Bunch
that
of
go?
famous Catholics. I don't remember.
That is unbelievable. That
Nice.
the first song you wrote, then really,
Yeah.
or performed. at least.
Performed live, and I got a standing ovation, and the rest is history. I just had to keep doing it.
The Catholica song.
Oh yeah.
You have to dig that up from somewhere. We have to put that up somewhere.
Let's move on.
So we're back to religion again.
Right.
So you play in the church on the Sunday that starts at 11 o'clock. How many services?
11:30.
11:30,
Yeah,
even
it's
better.
just-
So you must be starving by the time you finish.
Oh yeah, but they serve you food. You know,
They
you'll-
do? They have food?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
this is an
It's a
awesome
great
church.
way. And then the Monday rehearsals, they serve you food right after.
Is the
So it's
choir
kinda
Is there a
paid?
rehearsal?
I don't know about the rest. I know one other singer is paid, but then like David, you know, the different musicians, all of us
Right.
get paid.
Do you
So-
get paid for rehearsal? Is it a paid rehearsal? Oh my God, that's
Oh,
incredible.
man.
Yeah, it's a good deal.
You guys need.
That's a good
vocalists or
church.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah, Andrew, you can join the choir. They have it.
I am so in. Do you get robes? Are there robes involved?
But there are in the back. Actually, we've won them one Sunday, and it was Easter, and we came out, put them on as somewhat of a joke.
Oh, come on. It's
yeah.
religion. It's not a joke.
Well,
Sure.
so this is
Otherwise
this is
you
another
should-
thing.
Surely, Joe.
We play.
I wonder if they have that joke.
The church that we play at, there's 2 other churches that also meet there.
Metro.
And
Besides Metro, who else?
Exactly. First Christian Church and the Spanish church that I don't know the name of.
It's like Bayside and Valley. It's kind of like you know.
It's
you guys
kind of
are-
yeah.
So they
Rivals.
share the space
Right,
so that it's
right.
cheaper. So everyone
Share the space, but they also leave their robes after they're done.
And
so like
you
we
stole the
we
robes.
stole the robes,
from
put them on
Mexican
for an
church.
Easter Sunday. Yeah, right.
Wow.
And
I hope
came
you get
out.
struck down by Jesus for that. That's got to be.
It was
a sin.
definitely
He
you know
confessed.
broken dogma there. Yeah. Hey, yeah, I'm on the mic. You know, we confessed it.
How funny.
But yeah, it was great. You know, we surprised everybody.
Did you get them dry cleaned for them after?
No.
Oh, that's
No.
okay.
Weren't we gonna play a song?
You come on, let's
Yeah,
do it.
okay,
Yeah.
All right, all right.
Enough about religion. Here's some rock and roll. What are we listening to? October Rolls.
Yeah.
Okay.
Rolls.
It's the Cardinal Sons from Jackson, Mississippi, originally now living in New Orleans. For 11 years they've been here.
We got harmony, I don't eat.
above the floor. Grab your dress from the ceiling fan. Remember last summer in the sand. And keep in mind I'm feeling yours in mine. Kiss her neck to redefine elation by chemical design. And keep in mind I'm feeling yours in mine. Well, keep in mind I'm feeling yours in mine. Keep in mind I'm feeling yours in mine.
Yes. Cardinal Sons.
Wow.
It's that easy to be a superstar.
That was awesome.
It looks so simple, doesn't it?
so simple.
Wow, that was beautiful. Good job. That's a real pop song, right?
Yeah, thanks.
Bridget, how would you describe that?
Yeah, sure.
Wouldn't you say that's like a radio-friendly pop song, ready to go?
Yes. Yeah.
And that's one of the songs that's going to be, that was on the original
Correct,
Cardinal Sons
yeah.
Make an EP.
So who wrote that?
I wrote it.
It's beautiful.
Thanks.
John wrote
Appreciate
that
it.
all by yourself. So you write all the songs by yourself and bring them
Not
in?
all of them, and certainly there's input from everyone.
Only the good ones, right, John?
Only the good
Only
ones.
the
Yeah, yeah.
So
So
I
you-
have a question.
Yes, Bridget.
So how old were you guys when you started playing music? And was it like a part of your family growing up?
Sorta.
Well, I think our oldest brother Daniel started.
Whoa,
you know,
whoa, whoa,
Oh.
dude! I was the first one to pick up an instrument.
Before Daniel.
Yeah.
He was running around the house flapping his
Well,
hands.
Daniel
singing
was-
opera.
Yeah,
He wouldn't even know
Clap
what
his
was
hands,
going on.
yeah.
True. Probably Daniel was the first one at being good though. So, yeah.
Did,
No,
you-
it's a
did-
true
did your
story.
mother make you do piano lessons? You
I-
know,
I
bring
took
in a
piano,
piano teacher. And
yeah.
sit, yeah. And,
Yes,
and how
sir.
did you do with that? Did you stick with it or
I
give
did.
it up?
Yeah, I did.
So your mother and father weren't musical?
no.
No.
Okay.
We
I-
have cousins. We have
yeah.
cousins that are very talented. One of which went on the road for a long time with a guy named Charlie Mars. He was just the guitar player, but super talented. And then another, his sister actually. And these are just like second, third cousins of ours. Another one, his sister. She's a songwriter, and she's come out with an album that's great. But she, for a couple of years, just worked as a songwriter. And actually, one of her songs that she wrote got picked up by Dolly Parton, and it became like a huge single for Dolly Parton. I don't
And
even
she's
know,
in Jackson, Mississippi?
Yeah,
She is now. But yeah, I
Well,
mean,
she was in Nashville when she
Yeah.
did that, but yeah.
So we had like extended family to look up to, and I think like everybody took after it because like the immediately older brother was into it too. So like, and I think it was all Daniel's idea. So John started playing guitar
Dude,
first.
Let's clear the air.
But
Right
check
now.
this out. John
All right.
John started playing guitar first. All right.
Correct.
And then Daniel started playing bass because you play guitar.
Correct.
And then Daniel was like, Joe, you should play piano. And then when David got to be about 9, he was like, David, you got to play drums. We're gonna like be a family band. So it was like all his kind of like thing.
He masterminded it, and then
Yeah.
he left.
And then he did.
Yeah.
shoot
Then
that.
he like, I know.
Yeah.
He was
Oh, man.
pieced. I
And then
know.
he said, "I'm gonna sing."
Now, how about you, Bridget? Have you got a musical background as well?
No, not at all. I cannot. I sing a
In the
little bit.
seven,
but
what do you
I
mean
don't
you
know
sing a
how
little
to-
bit?
Well, when I was in high school, I sang in the choir and
What high
at
school was
church.
that?
Ben Franklin.
Right.
What number are you going to do for
They,
us right now?
they had a church choir at Ben Franklin. That must have been a
just
few
the,
years
the
ago.
Ben Franklin Honor Chorus. And then
I heard that's where all the nerdy kids went, right?
Oh,
The
man.
nerdy. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was kind of like that was the smart school, right?
Yeah.
It's a magnet
true?
school, so you have to be able to get in. You have to
And you have
test
to-
in.
Mhm.
So what are you good at?
In terms of music?
Well, okay, start there.
No, nothing.
Nothing.
I mean, I think maybe they had to let me in. I don't know. But anyway, sang in the course. But I'm really interested to know how young you guys were, because I'm trying to expose
Yeah.
August to as
Yeah.
much music as possible.
Oh, cool.
And I have a cousin who is the bass player for Johnny Sketch and the Dirty Notes.
Nice.
David. I don't know if you, because he went to Loyola.
What's his last name?
Parmelo?
I don't know if I
You don't
know.
know David. All
That's
those. That's
cool.
how they got started, because Loyola has that battle of the bands at the end of the year,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
they put together a band as a joke, and then they won. That's how Johnny
was
Sketch.
Johnny Sketch?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's how
yeah.
they got
No way.
started.
It was
yeah.
while they were all
They're
in school
awesome.
there.
I didn't
Yeah.
realize that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So David comes over on Fridays and hangs out and plays music, and we all sing and just you know.
Why Fridays? Religious?
No.
Nothing to do with
It just worked out in our
fish fry
calendar
or-
that way. No.
So he comes over every Friday.
Yeah.
To
At
try and get
noon, and
August
we just-
at noon.
at noon.
What do you
This
do
is-
all day, Bridget? Do you have a job?
No,
That's awesome.
I'm launching this program right now. I'm a propeller fellow. Got two
Propeller
more
fella, you should say.
propeller fella.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're a fellow at the propeller. What's it?
Social
Incubation
incubator,
thing.
correct.
Social incubator. So
Right.
So what does that mean? They don't pay you or anything. They just give you a
well,
desk.
it's a 10-month fellowship, and they provide you with pro bono consultants as well as a full-time consultant to work with you to launch your venture.
Who's your consultant?
His name's Alan Brinkman.
Mm-hmm.
He's from New York, and he has a lot of experience working with nonprofits. So I'm launching an urban land trust within an existing nonprofit. So
Oh,
they've been
boy.
protecting land throughout the state, but never in urban areas, mostly coastal and rural and agricultural. And now we're moving into the urban area so that we can help fight blight. So
So hang on a second. What does a land trust do? It's a
They hold
preservation.
land
It's
in
a conservation.
perpetuity.
It's like a national park or state park or a
no, it's an
wildlife
it's
preserve or
It's a
something?
local nonprofit organization that there's 1,700 land trusts all throughout the United States.
Right.
And they conserve land in order to produce public benefit in perpetuity. So
But
it's an
none of them are
alternate-
urban though, except you.
No, none of them in Louisiana are
Okay.
urban. So there are other urban
What are
land
the-
trusts that I'm
okay.
modeling this one
Ah,
after.
so what are the other Louisiana ones?
We're it.
No, but what are the other ones that aren't urban in Louisiana? There's nothing.
There's one. Well, it gets into semantics about how you describe land trust, whether it's a community land trust or a regular land trust.
Well,
and
what
if-
is it exactly? It's a bunch of people who own a piece of land together, or
No,
nothing
it's a
like that?
nonprofit organization whose mission is to protect land in perpetuity for public benefit. So, for example,
well, somebody
we
owns land though.
The nonprofit owns the land forever.
So you own it.
The nonprofit does.
You own a hunk of land in
The
the
non-
bywater.
What do you want? What are you
No.
guys going to do with the land for public benefit?
Well, it depends on the parcel. So, for example, we have 150 acres in Orleans Parish towards the end of Chef Highway. That's sort of coastal protection. Then we have other properties that are along rivers that prevent the pollution from entering the river. They act as a riparian buffer.
Oh,
And then in the
riparian buffer.
riparian buffers.
Another good name for an album, by the way.
Ooh, that's a good one. And then in the urban setting, we're creating parks. So the point is to create sort of a stacked benefit where you have stormwater management, a park, and removing blight from communities.
What
So-
about the greener project? Are you trying to put some?
So yeah, I heard you were down in the
vegetation-
Bywater getting your hair cut, so you must be familiar with the Bywater.
Yeah, I know the Bywater.
Yeah.
We're familiar with hairdressers, I can tell you that. But you own land. That's what interests me.
Yeah. So
You
the
own
land
land.
trust for Louisiana owns 4,000 acres throughout the state.
Okay, that's huge. I mean, who's buying the land?
We get some of it is donated to us. So like we're creating a park in Zion City, which is a community right behind Restaurant Depot off of Broad and Earhart.
Zion
And-
City, it's called.
Zion
It's
City.
like one of those New Orleans type names that no one uses, like Gert Town or something, or Pigeon Town. Zion City.
Correct.
And where is it? It's behind what?
Behind Propeller, behind Restaurant Depot, if you know where that new
Yeah, but
Restaurant
I know where
Depot
that
is.
is.
Yeah,
It's
like
a
off
very
the,
small
off
little
the
community.
overpass there.
Correct.
Yeah, but it's like valuable land, isn't it?
Well, all land is valuable.
Well, that's
right?
what I'm getting
And
at, exactly. Your witness.
Right. So there's two parcels.
You're
and
landowners, is what I'm saying. That's
we
a
are
big deal.
landowners in perpetuity for public benefit.
So you can't sell it, in other words. That's what perpetuity means forever.
Correct.
So you can't
Nope.
sell it and put up a shopping mall.
No. So the important thing here, obviously, is that we got to figure out how to live with water in our city, or or. We don't have to talk about that at our happy hour. But what we're doing is...
Oh, I have water right
it's
here.
not happening.
I'm not against water.
So by providing green spaces throughout the city and managing water with them, we're able to prevent subsidence or assist with the rate in which our city is sinking.
So what is Mr. Brinkman telling you ought to be? Really stop us sinking?
That is what we're
That's the
hoping
plan.
land does. Well, it's what we know land does. It acts as a sponge. So when the sponge dries out, or when we pump the water out,
Right.
the sponge condenses and it gets very thin. Right?
That's
If we
what's happening?
That's what's happening.
That's why
to
other
New
roads
Orleans.
have potholes and everything
Yes,
keeps,
it is.
all the pipes
That's
keep
exactly
breaking?
right. Yep.
So
I'll
you
be
can,
damned.
you can stop that happening?
So if we strategically maintain our green spaces throughout the city and allow, when it rains, the water to fall in those green spaces and it trickled back to the water table and allow that sponge to absorb all that water, it will reduce the rate of subsidence.
How come you're the only person who's thought of that?
No, I'm definitely not.
Why isn't
the
this
only
like
person.
common sense if
Well,
you know
what?
that?
Honestly, common sense or not, it is what you learn in like second grade, basic precipitation,
Okay.
But I think we don't think of it in those terms in our city right now. We aren't yet at the point where we're talking about what happens to water.
Well,
in
what are we
New
going to wait
Orleans.
for? We're going to wait for a Category 5 hurricane to wipe us. Oh, hang on a second.
Yeah, we can't wait.
I mean, really, how long are we going to wait? We already went through all this.
Well, that's my argument as to why we should protect land and that we shouldn't develop certain parcels of land, because we are at that point where we need to be making those critical decisions about our green spaces in perpetuity. And we can use them and develop them in certain areas, and I agree with that. But
I
in
hate to
other
use the
areas-
word Katrina here, but after Katrina, Nagin, of all people, another word I hate to use, said that we should have all these green spaces. Remember, with the green dots all over the map, and everybody went fucking crazy.
Yeah.
And said, no, we can't do that.
Right.
We can't.
So I think now what's
But
happening-
you're saying we should do
So,
that?
here we are. Right, I am saying that. So here we are 10 years later almost.
Actually, Nagin was right.
No, the consultants he hired
Yeah.
were onto something, which was that there
Wow.
are certain areas where the benefit of maintaining green space protects the entire city. So what the knowledge sort of is now is that we want to capture water upslope before it drains to the lower lying areas of the city. So when we're thinking about where we should maintain green spaces and where we should build, we want to look at the sort of terrain of our city and think about the way water flows and live with water like the Dutch do, become more like that. That's our goal. That's the city's goal. It's our goal to come in and partner with organizations to acquire the land. So we can either purchase the land, we get land donated to us, we hold conservation easements on land. There's a variety of ways that we can hold land. But the point being that we need to be thinking about how our land can help our city.
And how
And it's a
many
way that-
many of you are there, Bridget?
How many
How
members?
Many,
of
how
the-
many people are doing this besides you?
Well, I think in our city there's a great number of people now that are talking about urban water management and
Yeah,
the
but
use
not,
of
but
green
not talking
space.
about it. Who's actually doing it like you are?
Well, I think, I don't know the answer to that, but that's why I am a fellow this year at Propeller, because when I went to go create a park in my community, there was like one choice. Like the city owns land. And other than that, Trust for Public Land, they help create parks, but they don't hold land in perpetuity. And so I looked around and said, where's the land trust? And when New Orleans didn't have one, that's when
You went
That's
and
how I
did
lo-
something.
I went and did something. That's right.
I mean,
Good
where
for
did you go?
Well, I went to the
I mean,
land
how
trust.
do you know what to do, even?
My background.
Chronic epidemiology?
That's right.
What,
I
what,
knew a
let's
couple
get, what is
people.
that?
Well, it means that how does a city's built environment either foster your health or inhibit your health? So 10 years ago, when we started thinking about the built environment and how we could help New Orleanians get healthier, we looked at the number of bicycle and pedestrian lanes. And 10 years ago, we had 5 miles of lanes, and now we have 100. So that was some work we did 10 years ago. Now I'm hoping to use that same model and say, okay, what is our open space ratio, or what is the distance every child in New Orleans needs to travel to get to a park, and increase that number in 10 years exponentially, as we've done with bicycle and pedestrian lanes. So how does the built environment facilitate the public health?
That's what chronic epidemiology is.
Yep.
Wow. Thank God for people like you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, really.
What? And something about the food co-op? Yeah.
Oh, I was one of the founding members. number
Beautiful.
7.
Okay, so here's the deal, Bridget. I should really be
Oh,
shopping
no.
at a farmer's market, and I'm not. Help me out. Where do I need to go?
Good Eggs.
Good Eggs. Where is this?
Oh yeah, I know them.
It's
It's a
online.
website.
Yeah.
It's
Oh.
an online farmer's market. So if you're not shopping at the farmer's market, however, I would encourage you to go meet
Yeah.
the people that are growing your
Well,
food.
yeah,
It's,
I went to
Rouse's?
Where's Lil Wayne? No,
Burger King?
Lil Wayne is from Holly Grove.
Grove.
I went to the
Yeah,
Holly
yeah.
Grove one.
That's great.
And it was good, but like the box that they had
The produce box.
seemed a little scant that week, so I didn't get anything. But yeah.
Well, there are farmers markets almost every day now. In fact, there's just one that I passed on the way here at Armstrong Park on Thursdays. So I think that, number one, I would definitely recommend a farmer's market, but with your schedule and all of our schedules, it's really hard.
Andrew doesn't have much of a schedule to worry about.
Oh.
Is that
Then he can
Yeah.
go to shop at. I encourage it. I met my husband at a farmer's market. Should hang out at farmer's market.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's good to know.
What was he doing at the farmer's market?
Buying a baguette.
Being corn
What were you doing? Buying a baguette. That's not a phallic symbol at all.
Yeah.
Gluten free.
That's what. And you, what were you doing there?
Well, that's when I worked at Market Umbrella.
You were selling baguette.
So I was coordinating the
Oh,
market
you were
that day.
you were like a food coordinator.
Yeah.
So you worked with the
I worked with
vendors.
Market Umbrella, right? Coordinate them,
Right.
bring in new vendors, and help increase sales for local goods.
So how did you actually meet? You were just wandering around, and he was picking up a
It's a
baguette.
long story.
Well,
We have the
You'll have to
time.
have me back on it.
How long could it have taken?
Well, okay. The night before,
Okay,
I
we're
was-
going back to the night before. All right. Yes, the night before I was drinking
We
heavily.
were at the gold mine.
no, God. I was at a restaurant which is now Ruby Slipper, but it was called the Bank.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
great. That
In the
place
Mariner.
in the
I
Mariner.
loved
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Bank. And my girlfriends and I were sitting having dinner, and we were trying to come up with this answer to a trivia question. This was before smartphones, so
Jesus Christ! Really?
we had to call somebody sitting at a
How long
computer.
ago was that? You had to call somebody and
Oh,
say,
no, it was 2006, but
"Okay."
cell phones didn't
What was the
have-
question? Who sang?
What is the name of Mork and Mindy's son?
Jeez.
Wow. Yeah.
I have no idea.
Does
Anybody
anyone
know?
Spork.
Andy? Spork.
Nanu?
Yeah.
Nanu.
What was it?
Mirth.
Huh.
Wow.
Mirth.
Cute.
So,
Okay.
so we went up to this guy who had, looked like he was about the age of someone who would watch Mork and Mindy. And my girlfriend went up there, and I said, "Wow, who's that guy? I've never seen him at any of her pool parties." And
This was in the bank, in the restaurant.
in the
He was
bank,
just
right,
dining there
right.
as well.
And
like
I
you.
was there to meet the chef, Erin Burgow, who now has Patois, but at the time he was working at the bank, and I was there to hire him for something for the farmer's market. And so Erin came out, and I went to go talk to him, and that guy was getting up to leave. And so he walked out of the restaurant, and I said to my girlfriends, I said, "Well, that's him. Like, that's the one." And they're like, "You're crazy." I'm like, "All right." He was with a girl. I'm like,
The
"It's not
one
his
meaning
girlfriend."
this
Meaning,
is
like,
the-
we had this.
This is
yeah.
the guy. This is Mr.
This
Right.
is it. It's Mr. Right.
Okay.
Well,
So, but somehow one of my girlfriends had said to him, well, she works at the farmer's market. So he came the next day, and I had never met him. I just saw him at the restaurant.
And he
so
thought the same thing. So he looked at you
he
and
came to the farmer's market, and
looking for you.
looking for me. And I walked up and I said, "Hi, I'm Bridget." And he said, "Hi, I'm Erin." And I laughed because my sister's name is Erin, and my whole life it's been Bridget and Erin, Bridget and Erin.
oh no.
But
Okay.
anyway, so that's
It was
it.
spelled differently to your
Yeah.
sister, right?
Yes, it is. So anyway, farmers markets are great places.
Which
to,
one's the best in town?
I like the Saturday,
At?
the corner of Magazine and Girard.
Okay.
Are you looking for
Across
food
from-
or are you looking
Yeah, food.
Near
to meet
Pesh.
Miss Right?
Yeah. It's
Well,
go-
yeah, both, I guess.
well, it depends. It depends on what you're scheduling. What day of the week is better for you? Because there's a market every day.
yeah, early week is usually
Okay,
more
then-
consistent.
Then the Tuesday farmers market at Uptown Square.
But, okay. Uptown Square, what is that?
Oh, I still call it that. What is it called
What
now?
is it called?
It's like
It's by Lambeth House or something
yeah,
there.
it's Broadway and the River.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you cook much, Andrew?
Yeah, I love to cook.
Well, what? You should be shopping at farmers market.
I know.
All right. Well, if you don't make it there, check out gooteggs.com. It's an online
Yeah,
farmers
that's a great
market.
place. And they,
Yeah.
they deliver. Hey, Andy,
They
do
deliver.
you cook anything?
No, I don't.
Nothing.
Very often. Christmas, I sometimes cook an old New Zealand thing called brandy snaps. Did you ever have those?
Do you
when
make
grew up?
those? They're hard to make.
They're hard to make, but I've got them
It's like
down.
lace cookies, kind of, would describe them for people.
And
They're
then
like a
you-
lace cookie with whipped cream, and they
Very
roll them up
brandy and
around.
whipped cream in the middle, and you
Yeah.
roll them up and put the whipped cream in the
You
middle.
can make if you could
sounds
make that.
great.
I can
okay.
make brandy
You
snaps
could
like
sell
your
those.
mother made them.
You could sell those. Sounds amazing.
That sounds like something New Zealanders say when they're about to get in a bar fight. I can make brandy snaps like your mother made them.
But if you can make that, you can make anything. They're hard to make, aren't they? I would think they're hard to make.
I don't know.
Because you have to make the right consistency, and then they have to be able to roll, and they've got
They have
holes
to
in
roll
them.
them exactly
like
the
a,
right
like a
time,
mesh.
otherwise they
Yeah.
get too crisp and they just disintegrate.
Are you tempted to make anything else like custard
No,
squares?
I'm not
or
tempted, actually. My wife's a pretty good cook. And
Yeah.
Patois, which you said, is 50 yards down the road.
Oh.
Nice.
Perfect.
So you live right near Children's Hospital.
Correct, yeah.
Can you
Yep.
walk to work?
I can walk to work.
How's your back?
Pretty good, actually, for my age.
Yeah, what should we do to be looking after our back
I
so
was
we
gonna
don't have
ask
to
that.
get packed
You
up?
stretch it every day is my big thing, that you put it through a full range of motion. So you arch it back and you arch it forward and hold it for a little while.
All
Do
right.
that and keep your tummy muscles strong and you'll be okay.
Do you do yoga?
No, but my daughter has just become a yoga instructor.
Nice.
So a lot of the things that I've been recommending for years,
Does
I've
she go
just
to
found
farmers
out is
markets?
yoga, So I'm all for yoga. Do you do yoga?
Where do you do yoga at, Bridget?
The NOAC.
And where does your daughter teach you that in?
Well, she's only just got her certification, and
Okay.
she went to Bali to do it.
Of course she did. Smart girl.
So there's a little bit of Eastern, light some candles and play some Eastern music and that sort of stuff while you do it.
I have a sitar.
Yeah.
If, yeah. Does she go to farmers markets at all? or-
She is very much a farmer's market girl.
that right?
See?
Exactly. Yeah.
See?
Hadn't thought of that,
is
yeah.
she single, Andy, by the way? Before?
Yeah, she is.
She is.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
What market does she go to?
The one on Broadway at the end of
Tuesday.
yeah.
Me too.
Tuesday.
Small world. On Broadway. Is that the one you were talking about?
Yeah.
That's the one. It used to be in the old Uptown Square.
Yeah, old Uptown Square.
Yeah.
Okay, well, things are coming together.
Yeah.
Where does she live? Here in New Orleans, obviously.
She lives in New Orleans, just moving to a new apartment from Orleans, but she's uptown.
Okay.
Yeah, and she's starting Tulane Law School as of September. Oh, August.
What's you guys' feelings on the temperature thing with yoga? Is it a big deal to sweat your, nuts off, or can you just do the yoga and let the exertion be the perspiration?
I have no.
I was going to
say
say, why
on
are you
this.
asking these guys? Are you
Yeah.
from
Well,
Jackson,
because we have.
Mississippi?
Well, Bridget does yoga, and
Yeah.
you have a daughter who's a yoga instructor. I don't know if you guys hear
I don't-
things or.
I thought you were asking the Shirley brothers, by the way.
No,
no,
I
but-
was fielding
Never
the
done
question,
yoga.
throwing it out there.
Yeah.
No, I think there's a lot of different types. You have to find out which one speaks to you.
Right,
So
gotcha.
I like Hatha yoga.
What does that entail?
I'm not a good spokesperson for the entire.
Indian tradition.
Yeah, Indian
the Vedic
tradition,
tradition
but-
for the last 5,000 years.
You don't.
When
I mean,
did they start counting time? You happen to know that? No. So what is Hatha yoga then? It's kind of like what?
well, they don't.
Old-fashioned yoga.
No, they
not
don't have the
hot
heat
or
in the room. But you go through. It's not a set, sort of like set list of
Right.
postures. Every time it's a little bit different.
It's improvised.
So-
it's the jazz of yoga.
Yeah. So
Cool.
in some methodologies, you'll do the same set every time, and I kind of need to mix it up and not know what I'm doing next. But anyway, it's also about the teacher. So
Yeah.
you really find a good teacher that you like and who can help you stretch and help you get through the postures that you're trying to bring your body into. And so I think more it's about the teacher than the method.
Yeah.
Hey, Andy, I wanted to show you something before we go, because I stole your personality, your identity today online. But before we do that, let's have another song from Cardinal Sons. What do you
Yeah.
think?
Sure.
Wait, Andy, wait till you see what I did to you. I've really screwed you up. It's unbelievable. You will be shocked when I show you how I've totally stolen your identity.
Now he's not going to be
online.
able to enjoy this tune.
I think
He's just gonna be
we've
thinking
only
about
got
it.
5 minutes, and the tune's going to take about 5 minutes.
Wait, well, I'm going to show you what I did.
Play along,
after
one
this.
boys.
Keep playing.
Guys, what are you going to play?
So, a nice long one.
John, what are you thinking of?
This is a song called Casanova.
Casanova.
I got magazines I read. They remind me of my teens. And I'm not a part of a scene. No, but I would rip my jeans for you. I I bleed for. Oh, I've been misfired, I've been assigned, and I lost track of time. And all these regrets that I breathe, no, they don't mean a thing. Tell you I feel for. As my fair looks decrease, but her body tight and finer still. All this young guilt makes me ill. For you, I kill for.
Yes, the Cardinal Sons and Casanova. Is that on the new record?
That is.
That's
yes,
on the
that
new
will be
record
there.
yet to come
Yeah.
out, produced by
Yep.
Charlie Sexton. And what's the name of this album so we can look for it?
We just named that. We just came up with that. We're going to call it the Echo Choir EP.
The Echo Choir EP.
EP.
Okay, so
Yeah, so
not
it's
a
only
full
5
length album.
songs. Yeah, it's a it's a short record.
It's only 5.
When are they
songs.
playing? When are you guys playing next?
Hey,
hey.
let's talk about that.
Yeah.
You know, Andrew has some interest in this as well because we're playing his birthday party tomorrow night at
Oh
One Eye
my
Jack's
goodness.
here in town.
So
It's
if
true.
you're listening to
It's
this
true.
in the year 2014,
Right.
on Friday the what?
The 23rd of May.
Let's just put it this
Is
way.
that your birthday
we know,
tomorrow,
We know
Andrew?
that you're listening to a podcast, but we're in your head right now. Today
Yeah.
is right now, and we're playing tonight.
Well put.
Jack's. Seriously.
Be
tonight.
there.
And it's your birthday, Andrew, tomorrow?
No, it's Saturday.
Well, happy birthday from
Thanks.
everybody here.
Happy birthday.
Very nice.
Birthday,
Yeah. What would you like for a birthday present from INO Broadcasting this year?
Bohemia Classica imported beer.
We can hook that up for you. We can get Hugo to do that. So the album, when is the EP coming out?
It's August. What? Well, we don't have a
August.
set date, but it'll be August.
What do you
yeah.
make of that?
It's a good
Your
month.
son will be 3.
Yeah, yeah.
Exactly.
What
yeah.
date? Is it August the what?
Well, Louis Armstrong's birthday, which is August 4th, but he actually celebrated on July 4th. But
That's
Obama
right, he used to say it was
and
July.
Louis Armstrong were born on August 4th.
Cool.
It's a
Obama,
good
Louis Armstrong, and your
day.
son.
And
Oh,
August.
nice.
Wow.
That's solid.
I only have Hillary
Okay.
Duff.
Oh.
I got Queen Elizabeth and Bob Dylan.
Dude.
Wow,
Wow,
that's pretty
dude,
cool.
that's-
I have Picasso.
I know.
Picasso.
Oh, that's
pretty
good.
good. Yeah.
Picasso.
Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty.
have
And,
our-
and Hillary Clinton.
Wait,
Bridget, who have you
are you
got?
July 11th?
October 26th.
I thought
Hillary Clinton was born.
July
Well,
11th.
she was born twice.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Once in a parallel dimension.
Oh, wow.
That's how she got it.
Yeah.
What date's your birthday?
October 26th.
And Bridget, you thought your birthday, July the 11th, was also Hillary Clinton.
But it must be. It must be.
Maybe it's
wrong.
George Clinton.
No.
You sure? That would be cooler.
Chelsea.
That would
He
be
was
cool.
definitely
Chelsea.
born in a different dimension.
Yeah, that's true.
I'd rather have George Clinton's
Yeah.
birthday than,
Yeah,
than
sure.
Hillary's. If I had to choose a Clinton.
And when else are you guys playing?
Well, we have a bunch of dates in June. Playing in New Orleans at the end of June. It's like the last weekend of June at Casa Gasa, a new spot on Ferret.
Brand new cool venue here in New Orleans.
That's a cool place.
Really great spot.
Does it happen to be on your website, which doesn't seem to have anything on it?
No, it's not on our
No,
website.
that's a novel
Yeah,
idea,
we've
having a
got
band
it.
and then having absolutely nothing on your website. Why?
I know,
What's
I
It's in
know.
the works.
Is that the Loyola School of Music taught you that?
Yeah, true.
Music business, I think it's called.
Pretty
Teaches
much.
anything?
Yeah,
Why would
yeah.
you have a website with nothing on it? Even at my meager research, I thought that was weird.
Well, we have a guy building it right now, and he just sent us a new version of it today. We basically like cut down on a version that he sent us last week, and he got really mad at us.
So he unplugged it all?
Well,
Says, fuck
you
you,
know.
I'm just going to have nothing up there.
Well,
so
he,
if
instead
you
of
happen to be
doing
on a
that, he was
radio
like,
show or a
"Fuck
podcast.
you owe me $400 more," and we were like, "God." So, yeah, so it should be coming up in the next week.
Okay, so
But
if you
yeah.
listen to this at
Look
some
next
point
week.
in the future, there's
Yeah.
probably a website
CardinalSons.com.
called
Yeah.
cardinalsons.com.
The best
And
place to go is the Bandcamp. though.
Bandcamp?
It's
right, that has
Cardinal-
no information about you either, by the way.
No information, but it has music.
But does it have a tour schedule where we can find you? Well, people want to see you.
Oh,
Because we can steal the music without a problem.
Yeah.
that's a good point. I mean, we're on the Facebooks and the Instagrams
Yeah,
and the,
so
and the
just
Twitters.
the usual. Cardinal Sons. Okay, before we go, Andrew, I wanted to show you this here. So, you know, our crack research team gives me your name, basically.
Yeah.
And that's about it. So I go online and have a look. This is just before I came here. Like, actually, 5 minutes before I came here. And I click on this. I go to Dr. Andrew G. King. What does G stand for, by the way?
Graham.
Graham.
Whoa.
Graham.
Okay.
Exactly. But spelled a little different.
But
A-E-M-E.
Graeme, the old
Correct.
English way. Okay. So then I look at this. It says, Dr. Andrew King graduated from University of Otago School of Medicine. Dr. King has one office in Louisiana and all this. And then it says here, look what it says on the top right of this page on this website. I printed this off for you so you can see. Does it see what it says?
Are you Dr. King?
Are you Dr. King? Yes.
Click here.
Yeah, so I did, right?
Yeah.
So I clicked there, and I'm like, okay, cool. I'm Dr. King now.
Yeah.
So guess what? Now I am Dr. King. Look what it says on the next page. It asks for my address and phone number and an email address, and I'm just you now.
You
like
can
a-
be me.
I am you.
Like a personal Wikipedia
So
thing.
how much is in your current bank account? Because I have access to it. I'm Dr. King. Can you believe this? How many other people could be doing this?
Well, this is preying on the fact that doctors are so paranoid about what people think about them. that
Right.
Probably the people that are looking them up most often is themselves.
Is that no?
So
That
they're looking up to see what people say about them all the time, you know.
yeah, that
and,
must be really bad now.
Yeah,
I mean,
know.
what is that like as a doctor? When people write stuff about you, like Yelp, you can have a restaurant and people put it sucks or whatever. And
Yeah, well, I get a couple of things each thing about companies that will clear that up for you and improve your health grades.
Oh, wow.
If you've only got 2 stars, they'll put you up to a 4 or 5 star.
Really?
Yeah,
genius. How much do you pay to have that done, by the way?
nothing. Not for me anyway.
But people can.
But people
So
can.
if I'm like a quack and
Absolutely.
I've had a few like accidents, say a
You
couple of
had a
kids
few
died on the
accidents
operating
and a
table,
few-
anyone can
Yeah,
have it.
exactly. You can fix it.
Wow. And what does that cost actually? Do you know?
I don't know.
And how do
I'm not
they
sure.
do that? I wonder. It's like
I
you
don't know.
repair your bad
Macro
credit.
instruments,
Yeah.
Graham.
Macro instruments.
What they might do is get a whole lot of bogus people that say you were the most wonderful, fantastic doctor.
Oh, and just
and
bump
flood
the
the-
rating
Probably.
and flood the thing, yeah.
Well, anyway, it's pretty bad that I could just click on that thing and say, I'm Andrew King, and now I could totally be you and steal your identity. And
You know, I was thinking of taking a
So, hey.
vacation. You could come in, and I've got a couple of busy clinics.
yes, I could
Probably would do pretty well.
I have
yeah.
I have a
You know what I
hacksaw
mean?
of
You
my
have
own.
the accent.
I have an accent. I could nobody would know. And
I've got a nice white coat with Andrew King on it. You
Okay,
could come around
I'm
and-
about your
and
size. I could borrow it.
I could go
Totally.
and hang out down the Bywater and hear these guys.
That's
play
right.
music.
You
Yeah.
could you could come and host a podcast.
Yeah.
Do you want to switch? We could do
Switcheroo.
Okay.
Our accents
Yeah.
are very similar. I think
I'd
it'd be
love to
pretty
do that.
easy. Yeah.
And all I have to do is hack up a couple of kids.
Yeah. A little instrument infusion. You know?
Yeah.
You got
What do I
one
do?
of the-
Fuse and
yeah.
what other said Andrew? You could help. You could be my assistant.
I've dabbled in child instrument infusion before.
I don't think you should admit that. Stop drinking immediately.
Nurse Andrew.
You guys, we've come to the end of happy hour, I believe, have we, Chris? Yes, we have. Thank you so much for joining me, everybody.
for having
I can't
us.
believe it's already
Thank you.
been an hour. My guests on happy hour today have been Bridget Kelly, Andrew King, who is also known as Grant Morris, the Cardinal Sons, John, Joe, and Dave Shirley, and of course Andrew Duhon, who's here every week or most
Sometimes,
weeks.
anyway.
Thank you so much for joining us, everybody. The show is produced today by Graham DePonte. Our associate producer and technical director is Chris Kehoe. Christian Unruh is our music director, and Joshua Brown is our music coordinator. The theme song, which you're currently listening to, was written and is being played by Mitch Foreman. The fabulous audio quality of this show is brought to you in part by Chris Kehoe, and the rest of it is by PreSonus Audio Electronics. For more information about their wide range of sound recording equipment, check them out at presonus.com. If you'd like to be on our show and you can stay upright around this table for about an hour and keep drinking, drop us a line. Our address is on our website, where you can also check out our other happy hour shows, along with our other shows. Out to Lunch with Peter Raschuti, live from Commander's Palace. Mindset with psychiatrist Dr. Nick Pajic. True to the Game with Chris True and Tammy Nelson. Vietnam, our show about the New Orleans Vietnamese community with Kim Vu. And Midnight Menu +1 with Margot Moss and the man who ate New Orleans, Ray Canada. Keep up with us on Facebook, on Twitter, and a bunch of other time-sucking social media as well. And all of it where It's New Orleans. You can find photos from this show on itsneworleans.com and Facebook. These photos are taken today by Nadine Wu and also by Douglas Engel, who's back, I see, back from the fish pond. Hello, Douglas. If you listen to this show on iTunes or Stitcher or our favorite podcast app, Swell, or some podcast app you like better, thank you very much for subscribing to us. We appreciate it. If you could take a moment to rate and review us, that would help other people find us. Our show is recorded live today at the fabulous Casa Borrega. It's a live music venue, it's a restaurant, and it's also a, I guess you could call it a bar, down here in Central City, New Orleans. Check them out on Facebook and Twitter, or just come down here and have a drink or have a meal. Happy Hour is a production of INO Broadcasting for itsneworleans.com. For Andrew Duhon, everyone around here at the table back at INO Broadcasting, thank you so much for joining us. I'm Grant Morris. We'll see you back here next time on Happy Hour.
Your home is important. That's why Geico helps make it easy to save on condo insurance. Because home is more than just a place. Home is where you took minimalism too far because there's only one chair in your entire condo and your only entertainment is one card. Not even a deck of cards, but a single card. And all your guests have to share one plate and one fork, but you're convinced that less stuff means more freedom. The Geico Insurance Agency could help protect the overly minimalist broom closet you call home. Call Geico and see how easy it is to switch and save on condo insurance.